there folks, welcome to DocTalk. I'm excited to have you join me today. We're going to talk about how vaccines work. And here at the College of Veterinary Medicine and out in the field in many different areas of life, vaccines are utilized for humans, for animals, for small animals, for cattle, for pigs, and all kinds. I'm Dr. Dan Thomson here from the College of Veterinary Medicine. You're watching DocTalk. Hope you enjoy the show.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
Hi there folks, welcome to DocTalk. I'm Dr. Dan Thomson here from the College of Veterinary Medicine at Kansas State University, where I serve as the Jones Professor of Production Medicine and Epidemiology. And usually I have a guest on the show, but today you're stuck with me. We're going to talk about vaccines and something that I think is very common. We take our dogs in to be vaccinated, take our cats in to be vaccinated, cows, pigs, humans. All of us utilize vaccines as preventative medicine to prevent disease from occurring or to protect our body when we're exposed. There are two reasons why animals get sick. Either an overwhelming dose of a pathogen or antigen, or a suppressed immune system. When the immune system is working adequately, we have the ability to neutralize antigens. What's an antigen? Well, an antigen could be a virus, could be a bacteria, it could be something that is not part of yourself. The immune system is pretty unique in the fact that the immune system goes through and it takes inventory of all of your body's cells through DNA and through recognition. And so when it's taking inventory and it goes through the body and it says hair, that's me, cells, that's me, heart cells, eye, that's me, and all of a sudden it says, oop, there's an IBR virus, infectious bovine rhinotracheitis. That's not me. That is called an antigen. An antigen is something that stimulates an immune response. When the antigen is recognized as not being part of the self in that animal, the animal then produces antibodies. And the antibodies neutralize the bacteria or the virus or the thing that's not self. So anything that comes into the body. And so the antigen-antibody complex is very important in neutralizing. When the immune system is suppressed and the antigen is present, but due to stress or due to something that's run down, when your mom said get out of the rain, or things that elicit stress responses in cattle, the animal can't produce the antibodies or can't produce the immune response that then subsequently neutralizes that non-self, that antigen, or that bacteria or virus that'll cause disease. Very important basic fundamentals to biology, very, very important fundamentals to survival of species and adaptation to surroundings and disease is the immune system. We're going to jump into talking about different types of immune responses, and there are basically two types of immune responses that vaccines can create. The first one being the humoral immune response, and the second one being the cell-mediated immune response. The humoral immune response is one that is very specific. It is that antigen is presented, it produces an antibody, and that antibody is only specific for the antigen that's being presented. And I'll illustrate this better. If we have an IBR virus infect an animal, the antibodies produced are not only specific for for IBR virus, but it can also be specific for a strain of IBR virus and sometimes not be protective against all IBR virus. So it's a very specific immune response. When we come back from the break, we're going to continue this discussion on vaccines, cell-mediated immune response, humoral immune response, and then how that works in modified live or killed vaccines. Thanks for watching DocTalk, and we'll be back in a minute.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well in their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we're glad to answer and work with you.
This segment brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook. Visit us online at sftmeats.com.
Hey there, folks. Welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thomson here from the College of Veterinary Medicine, and I'm tickled to death that you joined the show today because we're going to talk about something that is very common to all of us. We get vaccines ourselves. We give our dogs, our cats vaccines, and vaccinations are staples for preventative medicine in beef operations, equine, and swine operations. So first we're going to talk about the different types of immune responses. And as we left going into break, we were talking about the humoral immune response. And that humoral immune response, if I vaccinate for BVD, I'm going to get production of antibody for BVD. And that is the antibody complex, antibody neutralizing that virus. The antibody antigen complex is humoral immunity. Now, cell-mediated immune response is a non-specific immune response. Cell-mediated immune response, if there's something within the body, whether it's a virus or a bacteria, and it creates a cell-mediated immune response, that response tries to attack and neutralize non-specifically everything that is not self within the body. So, as the immune system takes inventory, hair cells, those are me, heart, eye, that's me, all of a sudden there's a virus that's live that kicks up the cell-mediated immune response. Whether that virus or a different bacteria are present, we're going to have a non-specific immune response against anything in the body that's not self. So we have a humoral immune response that is what we vaccinate for. We put an antigen in the body, the animal produces the antibody specifically for IBR virus. Cell-mediated, we have a non-specific response to that virus being present, and the immune response of the cell-mediated then attacks all non-self types of proteins, viruses, bacteria within the body. So what does that have to do with the different vaccines we use? Well, we do have two different types. We have modified live vaccines and we have killed vaccines. And the modified live vaccines are vaccines that are live viruses or live bacteria that have been attenuated. And attenuation means that we're going to take these vaccines and we're going to take away the part that makes those vaccines virulent or makes those vaccines infectious in the animal. We're going to give a small dose of the virus. The virus cannot cause the infection even though it's live, and since it's live, it will stimulate a natural immune response just like the animal was being exposed to the virus out in nature. Modified live vaccines stimulate both a humoral immune response for the antigen that we're vaccinating against and also a cell-mediated immune response that is non-specific against all different types of things. We're going to head to the break, and as we come back from the break, we'll come back and we'll discuss what a killed vaccine stimulates relative to a modified live vaccine, and then we'll start to go into what exactly are in the different vaccines that you buy on a day-to-day basis. Thanks for watching Doc Talk, and we'll be back right after the break.
This segment brought to you by the Arab Shrine Circus, coming to the Kansas Expo Center February 15th through the 18th. For ticket information, visit ArabShrineCircus.com.
Ladies Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, it's Shrine Circus time! Enjoy a weekend of thrills, chills, and tons of fun at the Kansas Expo Center February 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th. See lions and tigers, elephants, high-flying trapeze artists, and watch a man shot out of a cannon. And Johnny Rocket, everyone's favorite, is back. For more information, visit ArabShrineCircus.com and be sure to thank our corporate sponsor, Security Benefit, the Arab Shrine Circus. Don't you dare miss it!
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
What does a brighter, more sustainable future look like in our cities and towns, and how do we get there? When New York needed an alternative fuel source to reduce carbon emissions, the city found what it needed in biodiesel made from U.S. soybean oil.
Hi, I'm Tim.
This is my wife, Kat, my parents, Jerry and Linda, and my kids, Isaac and Lizzie. My parents traded their first careers to take over my mom's family farm shortly before I was born. When I graduated high school, my parents made me leave to see the world. I started on the corporate track, but soon wondered what farm life might really be like.
Watch our story and the stories of other young Kansas food producers at KansasLivingMagazine.com/meetafarmer.
BootDaddy.com proudly supports Equifest of Kansas, Kansas's premier all-breed horse fair and exposition, presented by the Kansas Horse Council. Equifest of Kansas brings the nation's leading equine clinicians and entertainers to the Topeka Expo Center. Enjoy 3 full days of education, entertainment, and shopping, including the Jumper Classic, Breed Exhibition, Top Horse Versatility Competition, Ranch Rodeo, and more. It's an event for the whole family. For more information or to buy tickets, visit equifestofks.com.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Hi there, folks. Welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thomson here from the College of Veterinary Medicine at Kansas State University, where I serve as the Jones Professor of Production Medicine and Epidemiology. And we're going to talk more in depth about vaccines. And as we left for the break, we were talking about modified live vaccines. And modified live vaccines enlist both a humoral immune response and a cell-mediated immune response. Sometimes we use killed vaccines. And what a killed vaccine is we grow up the virus, we grow up the bacteria, and then we kill them. And these killed vaccines still have the proteins present to stimulate that humoral immune response. So the protein is vaccinated or injected into the animal of the killed virus or the killed bacteria, and it stimulates the antibody-antigen complex, which is the humoral immune response. So we get that from a killed vaccine. However, since that vaccine is not live, it does not stimulate that cell-mediated or that non-specific immune response. So the difference between a killed and a modified live is the modified live stimulates the antibody-antigen complex, the humoral immune response, and cell-mediated, and the killed vaccine only stimulates the humoral immune response or the antibody-antigen complex. When we use modified live, sometimes we don't have to revaccinate because that virus is replicating and it stimulates added immune response. You need to follow the label directions and work with your veterinarian at all times on these vaccines. However, when we do use the killed vaccines, it's almost always that we have to give a second vaccination or a booster response. So how do vaccines work? We're going to take one of these vaccines, take a killed vaccine or a modified live vaccine. We're actually going to take the virus or the bacteria that is non-infectious or non-virulent, and we're going to inject a small dose of that into the animal or into the person. That's the reason why they say when you use a vaccine or if you go get vaccinated, make sure that you're healthy because you want the immune system up and functioning. The immune system then is going to stimulate the antibody-antigen reaction. These are not immediate. So if I vaccinate today, you can expect a lag time for the body to kick in the immune system to stimulate the antibody production of a minimum of 5 days, and usually it takes up to a week. And a lot of times when we give the first dose of a vaccination, it's a smaller antibody response to the vaccine than it is after we give a booster vaccine. As we discuss vaccines in more detail, it is important to understand that if you're going to give a booster vaccine, that vaccine should be given 14 to 21 days past the first vaccine to allow the body the time to produce what we call memory antibody or memory cells that will remember that when that antigen is presented a second time, we're going to have a whole flood and army of antibodies to go neutralize it. When we come back from the break, we're going to wrap up our discussion on vaccines. It's been an interesting topic for me to share with you, and I'll see you here right after the break.
Healthy cows start with the new hired hand automatic livestock sprayer. Rancher invented to provide an efficient alternative to pour-on and injectable parasite management systems. The portable design allows cattle to treat themselves head to hoof. Strategic device placement with pass-through activation technology takes the stress out of parasite treatment for cattle and the rancher, leaving more time to tend to other vital tasks on the farm. To learn more, visit cowsprayer.com. The new hired hand makes healthy cows easy.
Hi, I'm Randy.
And I'm Paul from PFI.
We would like to personally invite you to stop by PFI, home of Boot Daddies.
PFI is America's Western store, covering over 50,000 square feet.
Over 25,000 boots.
Visit Saddle City with the largest selection of saddles and tack anywhere.
A huge selection of hats at Big Spur Hat Company in PFI Town.
And choose from the best brands of clothing and accessories for the entire family.
PFI, located on Highway 65 at the Battlefield exit in Springfield. And I'm not kidding.
Did you know long-range planning through the checkoff can help keep your business profitable? To successfully pass on cattle operations from one generation to the next, it's important to promote beef and keep farms and ranches profitable. Your beef checkoff helps do that.
I'm Jeff Mingus. I'm from southeast Arizona, where we have a family cattle ranch. I've been in the cattle business my entire life. I can remember the onset of the checkoff program, and when the Beef Council decided to use checkoff dollars to create additional demand for the chuck and the round. And I think that created a significant increase in the price of our product, and I think the beef checkoff has been beneficial for our operation.
So we moved to an area on a national backcountry byway, and because of that there's a lot of tourists and they'll stop in sometimes, and we've had a lot of people come out to the ranch. So we take that as a real opportunity to educate people about the beef industry. So we built this catering business when I retired a few years ago. I've used beef checkoff recipes over the last 20 years, but when you're really producing that for the public, it takes on a whole new meaning.
As a young rancher, there was a lot for me to learn when I came back to the ranch. I feel as if the beef checkoff gave me additional tools I needed. The beef quality assurance program has helped teach me how to handle cattle in a more effective manner, a way that's the most beneficial to the cow and the most efficient for the producer.
And I'm really proud to be able to say that the beef industry is reaching out to the consumer. I have this one on my website, gazpacho steak salad. It's very popular. And this is one that millennials like because it's quick, it's fast, and they don't have a lot of time to prepare. And this one has been really popular with men because you ask them, do you like to grill? And of course they say yes, and say, well, here's just a couple of recipes, and they grab them.
We feel really blessed that we have one of our sons, Ben, wanting to carry on the ranching tradition, so he'll be a 5th generation cattle rancher in my family.
Roxanne Struve, veterinarian in Western Iowa. I have a veterinary clinic and started doing stem cell therapy on dogs in August of 2014. And after the first 2 dogs, after 3 weeks, I saw such dramatic results. I said, hey, I have arthritis. I have joints, really need this help. Where can I go to get this done? I had stem cell therapy done in November of 2014 on my finger joints, my hip, and the ball of my left foot, all of which I'd had real severe problems with. Saw a pretty dramatic improvement in a short amount of time. I would certainly recommend that somebody don't wait until I'm in the position that I was in with the damage already done to my joints. I encourage veterinarians to use it for their animals, and I encourage anybody who sees this video, if you have need, get in contact with these people, because this is a phenomenal place to have this done.
We do business with Blueville because of the quality of their work. It is excellent quality, and because they make a commitment to their customers.
We enjoy the benefits of hiring a good company to help us maintain this home.
We will always do business with Blueville. We have for many, many years, and there's no reason for us to look for any other service.
No matter where, no matter why, the Veterinary Health Center at Kansas State University is committed to providing quality patient care to animals and exceptional customer service to their owners. From routine checkups to emergency and specialty care, our world-renowned specialists and experienced professionals are here to discover, to teach, and to heal.
Let us know.
How can I help?
How can we help?
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook or Twitter.
Hi there, folks. Welcome back to DocTalk, and joining me today in a discussion about vaccines, which is something that, again, there's a cornerstone to our preventative medicine programs, and we want you to work with your local practitioner to develop a vaccine program that fits your herd. We left talking about booster vaccines, and I want to kind of clear that up. One thing that I think is a misnomer, or things that people don't understand, is that when I vaccinate an animal, I don't get immediate coverage. I may get a cell-mediated immune response pretty quick with a modified live, but the humoral immune response, that antibody production to neutralize, takes 4 to 5 days at a minimum, and usually 1 to 2 weeks. As we develop the first vaccination and first exposure to that pathogen or to that antigen, we get buildup of memory antibody, or B cells. And then the second time that the animal is exposed, whether it's through vaccination or through natural exposure to disease, we get a much larger antibody response out there at 21 to 28 days after a second vaccination. Now, vaccination and immunization are two different things. Just because you give an animal a vaccine doesn't mean you get an immune response. And some of the things that you need to do to make sure that your vaccine is working comes right there at the shoot site. And things such as modified live vaccines are very sensitive to UV light. UV light from the sun can denature and kill a modified live vaccine. So you want to make sure that you keep your vaccines in a cooler or someplace that's dark. Next thing is exposure to temperature, whether it's heat stress or cold stress. If you expose modified live vaccines and let them get too warm or too hot, or exposed to freezing temperatures, that can turn your modified live vaccine into a modified dead vaccine, which is not a good place and not what you paid for to be able to inject into your animal or to do these. The other thing is you need to make sure that the calves have a functional immune system. You want to put these products into healthy cattle so that they have the immune system, and then before they're exposed to disease, that the vaccine is producing the immune response that you want. And the last one is proper administration. We have a designated vaccine zone within the animal on the neck of the animal. Now you need to first look and see, is this a subcutaneous injection or an intramuscular injection? And it'll say it right on the label, or your veterinarian will help explain to this. But if it's a subcutaneous injection, sub-Q, you're going to put that vaccine, deposit that vaccine between the sub-Q, or the deposit between the skin and the muscle, or the fascia of the muscle of that animal. And if you're going to do it on an intermuscular, it'll be a perpendicular vaccination right into the muscle of that animal. I hope you enjoyed our discussion today on vaccines, and we're going to have more of these types of discussions on DocTalk. Thanks for joining us. Remember, always work with your local veterinarian. If you want to know what we do here on DocTalk, you can find us on the web at doctalktv.com. I'm Dr. Dan Thomson, here from the College of Veterinary Medicine at Kansas State University. You've been watching DocTalk today. I'm sure glad you joined us, and I'll see you down the road.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.